Arguments. All right. Now, when I use this term argument in logic, I don't mean I'm right. No, I'm right. I don't mean people getting into it. What I mean is something more like reasons to believe. You're giving some reason to believe some claim that you're making. That's more what an argument is. So now, again, I'm not trying to be political, or I'm not trying to take a stand on either side, but let me offer you some arguments so that you can see. Like I'm going to give you some political arguments right now, just so you can sort of see like what I'm getting after, and you can see why it's important. But again, I'm not supporting one way or another. I'm going to give you arguments. I think I have arguments, a good argument and a bad argument for against animal testing. So here's an example of an argument. Animals feel suffering. Inflicting suffering is wrong. Animal testing inflicts suffering, so animal testing is wrong. Now notice what I'm trying to establish. The thing I want to prove is that animal testing is wrong. And I give these other propositions ahead of that thing that I'm trying to prove, and I'm using those to establish the truth of that last thing. We're going to call that a conclusion. The thing that we're trying to prove is the conclusion. The things that we use to get there, the propositions that we use to prove that conclusion, we'll call premises. And so this is what an argument is. An argument is where you just have a sequence of propositions, and the last one is the conclusion, and the ones before that are all the premises. You're trying to establish the conclusion, trying to prove the conclusion, right? And you're using the premises to do so. You don't necessarily need to use any premises, actually. You could have pure conclusion. So, for example, if I were to say, well, humans are humans, right? Humans are humans and animals are animals. The words humans are humans is a conclusion, right? I'm not using it to prove something else. That is the conclusion itself. Of course, what's kind of weird is if I were to say humans are humans, I don't just mean humans are humans. I'm trying to insinuate something like humans are more important than animals. Again, I'm not taking a stand on that either side, right? I'm just trying to show you like how arguments work. So if I say humans are humans, true, right? Everybody agrees with that. Humans are humans. Well, that's obviously true, right? Just the nature of the proposition itself is sort of self-validating, right? All A is A. All humans are humans. So I don't have any premises that establish the conclusion. I have zero premises. The definition still works because the number of premises I have is zero, and I still have that one conclusion. So as long as you have a conclusion that can be an argument, we are actually going to consider any sequence of propositions, making the last one a conclusion, an argument. Even if they are totally arbitrary, right? Even if they have nothing to do with each other. I could say all cats are felines, all dogs are canines, therefore all pigs are porcine. Now, that seems like totally bizarre, totally arbitrary. I agree, but we are going to still consider that an argument because when we're evaluating some arguments, people will think that that irrelevant things prove something, even when the premises don't have anything to do with the conclusion, and we want to be able to say, is that valid or not? Does this argument work or does this argument not work? Right, and that's going to be our reason for opening it up because we want to capture as many things as we can. It's not that it really matters that much, we're going to be looking at sequences of propositions. We'll call them arguments if we're wrong. Oh well, either way, if you thought that some premises that were totally arbitrary would establish some conclusion, we would show that would be invalid. Here's a possible way in this in the animal testing debate that you could do that. Some humans are evil, but no animals are evil. Therefore, animal testing is wrong. Now, notice these premises don't really have any kind of connection to the conclusion, right? They assume some further premise that they are so hoping that you are going to set up, and that further premise might not make as much sense. But in and of themselves, those things don't actually connect. we're still going to consider that an argument, and we're going to say, looking at these premises, do they prove the conclusion? Well, obviously not, because, they have nothing to do with the conclusion. So any sequence is an argument so long as you have a conclusion. You can have premises that establish that conclusion, but that's what we're going to call an argument.